The objectives here are to introduce the concept of ideal solution and regular solution as well as a real solution, and compare the thermodynamics of mixing. The free energy, similarly enthalpy and entropy associated with these solutions is dealt with. The second objective is to understand what is an ordered phase and define the short range order and long range order. And the third objective is to understand how the degree of order of an ordered phase varies with temperature. Now, the first is ideal solution. An ideal solution is one for which the enthalpy change of the mixing, that is delta H mix, is equal to 0. And the free energy change on mixing is only due to the change in entropy. Atoms A and B forming the solution are treated just as point masses. Here the change in the Gibbs free energy on mixing, delta G mixing is equal to delta H mixing, that is enthalpy, change in enthalpy of mixing minus T into delta S of mixing, where delta S is the entropy of mixing. Entropy of mixing is equal to minus R XA ln XA plus XB ln XB, where XA and XB are the mole fractions of atoms A and B. So when we are writing this delta S mix by this formula, we are assuming that the solution is completely a random solution. So the probability of occupancy of any given lattice position is same as by means of A atom say is same as its mole fraction. Similarly, the probability of occupancy of a particular site by B atoms is same as its mole fraction XB. So when we have got in this particular case delta G mixing is as a consequence of these definitions is RT multiplied by XA logarithm of XA plus XB logarithm of XB. Now let us come to what is known as regular solution. The ideal solution behavior with a delta HG mixing is seldom or very rarely found in practice, and the enthalpy of mixing is either endothermic or exothermic. This is because heat is absorbed or released when components are dissolved to make the solution. A regular solution is one where delta H, that is the enthalpy change on mixing, is not equal to 0. It is assumed that enthalpy depends only on the energies of atomic bonds on first nearest neighbors in this model of regular solution. No long-range energy interactions between the atoms are considered. They may occur, but these are not considered in this model. For this situation to be valid, the molar volumes of pure A and pure B must be equal, and they do not change during mixing. It also means that the interatomic distances and bond energies are independent of competition. So this is a schematic of a solid solution where this is a two-dimensional picture schematic. So which shows A type of bonds and B type of bonds as well as AB type of bonds. In a regular solution, there are three types of interatomic bonds. As I said, these are AA bonds, and each with an energy of HAA, and BB type of bonds with an energy of HBB. Similarly, AB type of bonds with an energy of HAB. If we define zero energy to be the state where the atoms are all separated to infinity, then HAA, HBB, HAB are all negative. When an atomic bond is formed, heat is liberated and become increasingly more negative as the bonds become stronger. So to form the bonds, the atoms have to be brought closer together, and they have to be located at the interatomic distances which are typical of the atom to form the what is known, typical of the solid to form the structure of the solid. So in the process, all HAA, HBB and HAB, all of them are negative. The internal energy of a solution can be determined by the number of bonds of each type, which we designate as PAA, PBB and PAB. So the internal energy is by virtue of it is essentially the potential energy here by virtue of the bonds. So this is the sum of PAA multiplied by HAA. So there are PAA number of bonds and HAA is the bond energy of the A type of bond. So consequently, total energy contribution to internal energy is PAA, HAA. Likewise, we have other terms PBB, HBB, and PAB and HAB. So when we add the total energies of A type of bonds, likewise BB type of bonds and AB type of bonds, then we get what is known as the internal energy. So this is for what is known as internal energy. The change of internal energy on mixing can be expressed as delta H mixing is equal to PAB into an epsilon, where epsilon is equal to HAB minus HAA plus HBB by 2. So this is so HAB is deducted from HAB. We deduct what is known as the mean of HAA and HBB. It is the difference between the AB bond energy and the average of AA and BB bond energies. For an ideal solution, PAB, that is number of AB bonds, is equal to N0. N0 is the Avogadro number. N0 into Z. Z is what is known as the number of bonds per atom multiplied by mole fractions of A and B, that is XAA and XBB. So consequently, we have the bond energies of AB type are N0, Z into XA and XB, where N0 is the Avogadro number. So assuming epsilon is not too different from 0, which is close to the situation of ideal solution, for a regular solution, we can still approximate to have PAB is equal to N0, Z, XA and XB bonds per mole. And then let us define, to simplify the formulation, we define what is known as a interaction parameter, omega, and this is defined as equal to Avogadro number times Z, that is the number of bonds per atom, and then epsilon, that is a difference in the bond energies, where omega is called, then delta H mixing is equal to PAB epsilon is equal to the interaction parameter of omega times XA into XB. XA, XB are again, as I said, these are the mole fractions of A and B in the solution. Therefore, for the regular solution, we have the free energy change of mixing. Delta G mixing is equal to delta H mixing minus T delta S mixing. So the delta H mixing here is equal to omega times XA and XB, and then you have got the term T delta S mixing with a negative sign, and that is equal to RT times XA ln XA plus XB ln XB, where XA and XB are the mole fractions. So this is a somewhat speaks about the regular solution. And now we can come to understand what about the real solutions. In the what is known as the quasi-chemical model, which was the basis for regular solution, the postulate is delta H mixing is only due to the bond energies between the adjacent atoms, and that the volumes of pure A and pure B are equal, molar volumes, and do not change during mixing, which implies that interatom distances and bond energies are independent of concentration. This assumption, which is usually comes under the name of quasi-chemical model, is a oversimplification of reality. It is simply not true that atoms are randomly arranged in real solids, and then calculated delta H mixing is not necessarily correct. The actual atomic arrangements for a real solution, as depicted in figure, will be a compromise that gives the lowest internal energy, that is the lowest value of magnitude of delta H mixing, consistent with sufficiently high entropy, that is delta S mixing, so as to achieve a minimum of delta G mixing. So in this diagram again is shown on the right side two configurations of atomic configurations of the solutions. The top one is a ordered substitutionally substitutional atoms are ordered completely. So A atoms are occupying a specific positions and B atoms are occupying a specific positions. So there is a perfect order here. And the bottom one shows when there is a tendency for these atoms to cluster together. That means atoms of like kind are they flock together. So consequently, there are several regions where there is a high density of the block spares in this, where these black spares also are supposed to represent one kind of atom, and also similarly the white spares are also, they have got preferential location for to occupy. So neither of these configurations correspond to a completely randomly ordered solution. So these are the two extremes which you can encounter in real solutions. So the truth is, in general case, the truth is about the structure of real solution is the atomic arrangement lies somewhere in between these two configurations. So if the epsilon, that is the bond parameter epsilon is less than 0, then AB type of bonding is thermodynamically more favorable. So because that leads to minimization of the gives free energy. So in this particular instance, atoms in solution prefer to be surrounded by atoms of the same type, opposites type. The internal energy of the system is reduced, or delta H mixing becomes more negative in this particular instance by increasing the number of AB bonds. So in this particular situation, ordering of the atoms in the solid solution takes place, and when epsilon, that is the bond parameter, epsilon becomes more than 0, AB bonding is not thermodynamically favorable, or atoms in solution prefer to cluster by themselves. The internal energy of the system can be reduced, or delta S mixing becomes more negative by increasing the number of AA and BB bonds. That is, by clustering the atoms into A-rich and B-rich domains. Both these situations are encountered in substitution solid solutions. And also that the degree of ordering and clustering will decrease when the temperature increases due to the increasing importance of entropy. So real situation at any given temperature lies somewhere in between. And in some instances the salt solution may show complete ordering so long as the bond parameter is favorable. Solid solutions which have a negative enthalpy of mixing, that is, which have got the omega less than 0, prefer, unlike nearest neighbors, they exhibit a tendency to form ordered phases at lower temperatures. Now we talk about what is known as a random solution. If the atoms in a substitution solid solution are completely randomly arranged, and each atom position is equivalent, and the probability that any given site in the lattice will contain an atom will be equal to the fraction of the atoms in the solution, that is the mole fraction XA. Similarly, for XB is the mole fraction for B atoms, and that is the probability of occupancy of any given site in the solution, if it is by B atoms is XB, then we have what is known as a random solid solution. And a random solid solution is we assign a 0 degree order. Then we talk about what is known as the short range order. If the number of AB bonds is more than that in a random solution, the interaction parameter omega is less than 0, the solution is said to contain what is known as a short range order. So in literature, the short range order parameter is defined as follows. Short range order parameter S is equal to PAB minus PAB random, PAB maximum minus PAB random. Here PAB maximum and PAB random refer to the maximum number of bonds possible and the number of bonds for a random solution respectively. So it is always possible to calculate PAB maximum and also PAB random, and so consequently if we know PAB of a current state of the solid solution, we will be able to calculate what is known as the short range order. In solutions with a simple ratio of simple stoichiometric ratio of AB atoms, another type of order called as long range order is found. Now the atom sites are no longer equivalent, but they can be labeled as A sites or B sites. If there are more than two types of atoms, then you can also have more types of sites. Such a solution can be considered to be differently ordered phase, separate from the random or nearly random solution. So now in this particular instance, this picture shows schematic shows unit cells of a completely random solid solution. So in this, this is shown in A. In this particular situation, the probability of occupancy of any given atom, any given site, lattice site, is equal to the mole fraction of that particular atom. Suppose if we have got two atoms, so the probability and of the two atoms of mole fractions Xc and Xb, then the probability of occupancy of any given lattice position by A atoms is Xa. Similarly, the probability of occupancy of same atom position by B atoms is Xb. So this is what is known as a completely random solution. In B, what will happen if we assign different types of lattice positions in the unit cell is shown. So here this is an example of what is known as what will happen in the case of copper Au when the stoichiometric ratio of these atoms in the solid solution is 1:1. So there are two lattice points which lie on the basal planes, and two lattice points which lie in the middle layer. So if all the lattice points which are there in the middle layer are occupied by the gold atoms, as is shown in the figure, and all those atoms which are lying in the basal planes are occupied by Cu, then you have got what is known as a perfect ordered arrangement. The lattice which is unit cell of the lattice which is shown here is called as a superlattice. And another type of ordering which is possible here in the C is corresponds to what is known as Cu3AO. So the gold atoms are now occupying the corner positions of the unit cell, and the face-centered positions are occupied by Cu. So that gives a stoichiometric ratio of 3:1. So if preferentially all the corner atoms are occupied by gold, and all the the face-centered atoms are occupied, lattice positions are occupied by copper, then we have got a perfectly ordered unit cell, as well as a unit cell is replication of solid in three. If we replicate the unit cell in 3 dimensions, we generate the solid solution. So consequently, this is a perfectly ordered solution. So again, so for clarity, consider AuCu alloys as a specific example. Cu and Au are both FCC and totally miscible. They mix in all proportions. They have got the same valency, and they belong to the same group of in the periodic table. At high temperature, Cu and their melting points are also similar. So at a higher temperature, Cu and Au atoms can occupy any site, and lattice can be considered as FCC with a random atom at each lattice point. This is what is shown in A. At lower temperature, however, solutions with the mole fraction of Cu is equal to mole fraction of Au if it is 0.5 or 50-50 Cu-Au mixture, form an ordered structure in which Cu and Au atoms are arranged in alternate layers. So consequently, we are partitioning the lattice sites into sets. So when this is possible, and then then we say that there exists what is known as a long range order. Each atom position is no longer equivalent, and the lattice is described as a Cu-Au superlattice. In alloys with the compositions Cu3Au, another superlattice is formed. We have discussed about that already. The entropy of mixing of structures with long range order is extremely small, because the arrangement is very much ordered. So consequently, in a ordered structure, the entropy contribution will be minimized. So when the atoms are they are combined together to form a random solution, so the number of degrees of freedom will increase. So consequently, entropy will be more. With increasing temperature, the degree of order decreases until above some critical temperature there is no long range order. So this is what is known as the critical temperature of ordering. This temperature is the maximum when the composition is ideal required for the superlattice. So that means if the composition of the solid solution is 1:1 in the case of Cu, then you have got the transfer temperature is maximum. Suppose if the composition of copper and Au in the solid solution is deviates from this 1:1, so you may have more copper atoms and less gold atoms, or vice versa, in which case still there can exist what is known as long range order, but in which case the temperature, critical temperature above which the material transforms into a completely disordered state will be lower. The long range order can be present even when the alloy compositions deviates from the ideal stoichiometric ratio. The maximum temperature to which LRO will persist in this case compared to the situation where order phase has nearby stoichiometric ratio is less. So here are 5 common ordered lattices. These are so you have got L20, L12. So the second subscript is so this is a structure crystallographic structure notation which is given for this kinds of superlattices: L20, L12, and L10, D03, and G19. So these are the different types of lattices which are found in different salt solutions. So the examples of L20 is copper, zinc, iron, cobalt, and nickel, aluminium, iron, aluminium, gold, magnesium. Likewise, you have got other examples of other salt solutions of definite stoichiometric ratio which will exhibit long range order and have got these kinds of unit cells. The 5 main types of ordered solutions are shown in the above figure. An example of ordered phase is BCC beta brass occurring below 460 degrees centigrade. It is called as L20 or B2 superlattice. The BCC or so-called A2 lattice can be considered as 2 interpenetrating simple cubic lattices, one containing the corners of the BCC itself, the other containing the body centering sides. If these 2 sublattices are denoted as A and B, then the formation of perfectly ordered beta superlattice involves segregation of all copper atoms to the A sublattice, zinc to the B sublattice. This is not feasible in practice, however, as beta dash does not have the ideal copper zinc composition. So beta dash exists over a range of compositions. If you look at the phase diagram, and below a definite temperature, beta dash is present, and when you heat it, this beta dash converts into a disordered beta. There are 2 ways of forming ordered structures in a non-stoichiometric phases. Either some atom sites can be left vacant, or some atoms can be located on wrong sides. Say for example, if I have got a lattice which is preferentially assigned to a given type of atom, say A, and if that set of lattice sites is occupied by B atoms, then we say that B atoms are in wrong sites. Similarly, we can infer about the other lattice. In the case of beta copper zinc, the excess copper atoms are located on some of the zinc sites. Long range order L. We define the long range order parameter such that L is equal to 1 for fully ordered alloy when all atoms occupy their correct sites. So this is if you have got 2 sublattices, atoms of A type occupy one sublattice entirely, and all atoms of B type occupy other type, and then depending upon the stoichiometric ratio. So this is where in that condition we are saying that L is equal to 1. And similarly we call L is equal to 0 for completely random distribution. So in the case of copper zinc alloy, the probability of occupation in the case of a completely random distribution alloy is a given lattice site is irrespective of wherever it is located is 50% probability for copper atoms to be located there, and 50% probability for zinc atoms to be located there. To define the correct site, the lattice is divided into lattices, sublattices. So a suitable definition of long range order is given as follows. L is equal to RA, where RA here is number of right atoms of A sublattice assigned to A minus XA, where XA is the mole fraction of A. This is the numerator, and in the denominator you have 1 minus XA. So this again is equivalent to RB minus XA, XB minus 1 minus XB. Sorry, RB minus XB divided by 1 minus XB. So again, RB is the number of right atoms in B sublattice minus XB is the mole fraction of B. So mechanisms by which an ordered superlattice is formed from a disordered solution. So this is possible two ways. A continuous increase in a short range order is possible by local rearrangements taking place homogeneously throughout the crystal. So such an increase can ultimately create a long range ordered structure. The second mechanism is where there is so the first mechanism occurs when there is no energy barrier. If there is in creating ordered domains, so and is an example of what is known as spinodal decomposition. This mechanism may only be able to operate in second order transformation or at very high supercoolings below critical temperature of ordering Tc. In cases when there is an energy barrier to formation of ordered domains, the ordering takes place by a nucleation and growth of ordered domains. This mechanism is found to be more common. Nucleation and growth process is illustrated in this figure. The disordered lattice is represented by crossed grid of lines. Within this lattice, two sublattices are marked by heavy and faint lines. Atoms are located at each intersection, but only atoms within the ordered regions or domains are marked. The unmarked sites are disordered. Since the two types of atoms can order on either the A or B sublattices, the independently nucleated domains will then be out of phase and are called as antiphase domains. The boundary between them is called as antiphase boundary. The formation of antiphase boundary when out of phase ordered domains grow together occurs when the formation of antiphase boundary occurs when out of phase ordered domains grow together. The diagram could represent 100 plane of C3A in this picture, which in which case the black and white regions could represent copper and gold. The C3A superlattice, in C3A superlattice, there are four different ways in which ordered superlattice can be found from the disordered superlattice. AU atoms can either go to the corners of the unit cell or any one of the three distinct face-centered sites. Hence, the antiphase boundaries formed in this superlattice are more complex. So this picture shows a thin foil electron microscope micrograph of antiphase boundaries in an ordered aluminum iron alloy. So what is shown as a wavy white boundaries are antiphase boundaries. And in these antiphase boundaries bound what is known as antiphase domains. As I told you, the temperature at 0 degrees Kelvin, the all salt solutions, they tend to occupy a perfect long range order, because that is how the crystal or the salt solution can minimize its overall free energy. So the entropy doesn't make any contribution. So the only way to decrease the free energy is reducing the enthalpy. Enthalpy is reduced when the atoms are perfectly arranged. And above the absolute 0 degrees, so what will happen is thermal vibrations will disrupt the order. So consequently there will be a greater tendency for, as the temperature increases, the greater tendency for the long range order to be disrupted. So schematically, so what is shown in this diagram is how the order parameter L varies as a function of temperature. So the right side of the curve is for copper zinc type of superlattice, and the right side diagram is for copper gold type of superlattice. So as you see here, so the order persists to large degree, and then it decreases somewhere near the critical temperature of ordering. So above that temperature, below TC, the salt solution becomes completely disordered as far as the long range order is concerned, but still there can be what is known as short range order. So the variation of the short range order as a function of temperature is shown by the dashed lines. So what is the impact? Why should we be worried about so much about the ordering? So when the ordering takes place, the mechanical and physical properties shall change. Symmetry of crystalline phase will decrease when it moves from a disordered to an ordered state. In an ordered superlattice, dislocation slip is difficult because of opacity of slip systems or by the presence of antiphase boundaries. So antiphase boundaries block the motion of the dislocations again. So physical properties like specific and magnetic properties also exhibit a different behavior.